Welcome, travelers, to High Fantasy. I'm Brett.
I clapped and I shouldn't have clapped. You got me clapping.
I need my herb pouch. Daddy's been paying for my salt.
this
I'm part of the poop patrol, ma'am.
And I'm Emily. But I'm like, don't make the robots.
Don't make the robots
crunch. I would speak with dinosaur in a second. I have beef with DC. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Join us on our epic world-spanning adventures. Armed with only a bit of long-bottom leaf, we will delve into some of the most amazing worlds of imagination that have ever existed. Before we get into that, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You can clap.
You can.
Yay! Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of High Fantasy. I'm Brett.
And I'm Emily.
And today we are going to be continuing our series on Fallout that we have been doing, going into every little bit of Fallout lore, all kinds of fun stuff here.
The Fallout universe, trigger warning, the Fallout universe
is a trigger
sucks.
warning. Yeah. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that we'll be talking about today, psychologically, physically, just
mentally.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But today we are talking about vaults.
Oh yeah, trigger warning, this whole episode's gonna be fucked. No, that's a trigger warning.
All right, so I have here a list of vaults, and we're going to kind of go down the list in order of known Fallout vaults and what happened kind of in each one. So really quickly, just kind of an overview. Almost all vaults had experiments going on, except for control vaults. If it's a control vault, it was just a vault. It was literally everything that was sold by Vault Tech via their propaganda, but it was actually true. So it was like, this is a good place you wanted to be. You wanted to be in a control vault. But yes, let's talk a little bit first, I guess, about Vault Tech's vaults and what was going on there. So in Vault Tech, what are you looking for?
Coaster.
Oh,
I really don't.
They're right over there.
Drink down without a coaster, at least.
It's all good. So with Vault Tech, they created the vaults and kind of marketed them as a place in case the nuclear apocalypse happened where you and your family could be safe. This was such a worry for everyone that it quickly grew from just a basic idea of a company into a multi-billion-dollar company having interactions and relationships with every facet of society. So, like, they had access to commercials that were made by celebrity endorsements. They had a lot of professional athletes, football players, that kind of stuff that were getting into their vaults, and places, we're going to go into a little bit of that later, that were specifically made for high-end members of state or very powerful and influential people throughout the course of time. So, without further ado, let's get into the vaults. So starting off, we have Vault 3. Now, Vault 3 was in New Vegas, or the Mojave Wasteland, so Las Vegas, Nevada to us. It was a control vault for all intents and purposes, and was first introduced in the video game Fallout New Vegas. Inhabitants chose to remain isolated for over a century until a water leak forced them to open for trade. The vault was subsequently massacred and taken over by the raider gang, the Fiends. And we went over what the Fiends were in the last episode. Arguably some of the worst raiders you're ever going to come into.
Yeah.
But that's the earliest vault that we know of is Vault 3. Then there's Vault 4, which was in Los Angeles, California. Publicly known as an experiment, a vault governed exclusively by scientists with no other oversights. So this vault was specifically made so that scientists could have free reign with no moral obligations or ethical codes to get in the way of the things that they could do to advance science.
That's the one that's in the Fallout television
This was
show,
first
right?
introduced in the Fallout TV series.
We just rewatched the Fallout TV series, so we've actually been playing Fallout Shelter.
Yes.
So,
but yes, that's Fallout Vault 4. Then there's Vault 8, which was located in northwestern Nevada. Now, some of these, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about because they were kind of either introduced in the background or it's a control vault and there was nothing crazy going on and they didn't do anything to really warrant any information there. So Vault 8 was once again a control vault. The inhabitants left on schedule and used their Gek, which is a Garden of Eden creation kit, to establish something called Vault City. Now, most of the
Okay.
times for control vaults, it's going to be it's a control vault, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Vault City is super important.
Okay. Tell
Um,
me more about Vault City, sir.
So Vault 8 was first introduced in the video game Fallout 2. Which was like an over-the-top third pan-down vision of a 3D character. It was so long ago. Super fun. It looks like a great game. I never actually got to play it. I have it, never played it. But Vault City is important because a Garden of Eden creation kit, or a GEC for short, was created by Vault Tech as kind of a... When you go out into the nuclear wastelands, we expect this will be terrible. So it's a small terraforming device, which basically creates habitable life and like vegetation in a huge radius from where it's activated. So you can take it to the middle of a desert and it will turn it into lush green.
I want one of those. I kill plants all the time. That's what you use it for, right? Is keeping your house plants alive.
For sure. So the inhabitants left from Vault 8 created a whole city called Vault City using their Garden of Eden creation kit. Now, as you might suspect, in the wasteland, there's not a whole lot of exactly like habitable area. So a place where there's lush green like vegetation is super noticeable. And everybody wanted to be a part of Vault City. One problem. The Vault people from Vault 8 suck.
Really?
They suck so much and so hard.
Why? How? Who are they?
So they're elitists, for one. So they believe that they are above everyone else in the wasteland who comes to them for help.
Cool.
They have Vault security, which keeps everybody out of Vault City unless you're a citizen or a worker. Now, you're going to learn very quickly, worker is slave. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And once you've worked long enough as a worker, which they are treated absolutely terrible, you are granted citizenship. I believe it's somewhere like 20 years of service gets you citizenship as a Vault Dweller. Now, unfortunately, most of them will never make it to this, as any minor infraction of their laws subsequently is punished by more time added onto your sentence.
Oh, of course, and there's stupid laws, aren't they?
Really stupid laws. Oh, you didn't polish that glass correctly? That's 2 years. Oh, you didn't like take out the trash when we wanted you to? That's another 6 months. Like it gets crazy, the kind of stupid stuff that they have you do. There is one other way to gain citizenship in Vault City other than just being born a citizen of Vault City, and that is to take their test, their aptitude test, which is a physical, mental, and kind of psychological test that they administer.
So if you meet their standards, then you can be a citizen?
It's impossible. In the game, you have to have maxed out stats in almost every category in order to effectively complete that test. If you do, which you have to cheat, by the way. Actually enter in administrative codes to give yourself higher stats than are allowed in the game to accomplish this feat.
Fucking bullshit.
It's a bunch of bullshit. No one has ever passed the test.
That's a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Now, there are kind of some back alleyways you can do it. You can get false citizenship papers, like forged, stuff like that. But it's a place where everybody wants to be, and they're willing to sell their future to get in there.
Oh
so,
my God.
Yeah, Vault City sucks ass. But that's Vault 8.
Has anybody ever burned Vault City down? Has there been a revolt?
Still around.
It's still
around today. And it has an overseer, which is the mayor.
How?
Because they have a shit ton of Vault security and they do trade with a bunch of other people.
I feel like Vault security, like, there's stories of raiders getting into vaults all the time. I feel like Vault security isn't a good enough. Like, wouldn't there be enough people who are like, okay, I'm tired of this BS, we're gonna...
Oh, there's always the option that, like, you know, a big enough force comes along and decides to take it. but it's enough to keep the average group of raiders or, ne'er-do-wells from thinking about
Well,
doing it
I'm
even
even
close.
thinking about the workers who are working for their citizenship, just banding together and revolting. Like, are they really that outnumbered by some people in a vault?
Oh yeah, think about Egypt.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that the slaves of Egypt didn't outnumber the taskmasters at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, how often do slaves revolt?
Yeah, but they should.
Think
They
about the
should have to, but
plantations and all the whippings and stuff that happened there. And,
yeah, but there was a civil war.
you'd hear the stories that occasionally that kind of stuff would happen. But for the most part, it took a lot to finally do that. And it was like a whole state of people
How
fighting
many
to finally
people
make it
were
happen.
originally in Vault 8, I guess?
That's a great question.
Everything that I've seen from the vaults is like, there's a decent amount of people, but it's not crazy.
Generally, it's a couple thousand.
In a single vault?
In a single vault, yeah, generally.
Okay, I take it back.
And then but they're not all that way
They
still.
couldn't hire that many extras for the Fallout TV show, so
Also,
it feels like there's less.
Think about it this way: you have the people who are like doctors
Mm-hmm.
and like medical technicians, which is kind of the big thing that Vault Tech or Vault City is known for.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to go there for medicine, like actual pharmaceuticals that can be manufactured and produced.
Because it's a fucking.
If there was a revolution that happened,
they wouldn't have it anymore.
who's to know if those doctors make it through that revolution? Who's to know if the, facilities are still usable? There's a lot of very, crazy questions you have to ask.
Free Vault City.
Yeah, free Vault City. Yeah, for sure. Fuck those guys, they suck.
God, they suck ass. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit.
Now, we're going to get this. This is the one I was kind of rushing to a little bit because I think this one is one of my favorite vaults ever because the social experiment was insane.
Oh, God. Tell me more.
So this is Vault 11. This is in the Mojave Desert for Nevada, or the Mojave Wastelands, and it was introduced in New Vegas. So this was a social experiment studying a population's willingness to sacrifice individuals for the safety of the majority.
Oh,
using threats of collective punishment to do so. So basically, here's what happened. The bombs fell. Everyone rushed into the vault. We're told that it was fine. Except when you get in, there's a little problem. The vault basically tells everyone after they're locked in that if they do not sacrifice somebody once a year, the entire vault is going to kind of shut down and not work and kill everyone inside.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So you have thousands of people.
Yeah.
That could die. Or you sacrifice one a year. It's doable. It's doable. If you have enough population constantly producing more. Now, this led to a bunch of crazy stuff, and the story of this vault is the coolest to me.
Tell me more.
So, they decided that the overseer, because at the time, the overseer did not know about this, but considering he was the person in charge, they were like, your ass is going in the fucking incinerator, dude.
You're first,
So,
buddy.
After his 1-year term of being the mayor, or the, overseer of Vault 11, he ends up being sent to die. But they need a new overseer. So, 2 birds, 1 stone, right? We need to elect a new overseer, but we also need to elect a new sacrifice.
So every overseer in the vault becomes the
sacrifice after their term of 1 year is up. So essentially, one will go into the incinerator, another one's immediately, turn into the overseer. Now, for that year, you live well. You live high on the hog. Because, you are
the overseer.
You're the overseer. So you have every rule that the overseer normally does. You can, you have full authority.
Yeah.
For the most part.
You get to make the rules.
Other than, changing, you can't say, oh, I'm not going to sacrifice myself.
Yeah, I'm not going to sacrifice this year.
So this ended up getting people into different groups, and they were called the voting blocks. Now, the largest group in the voting blocks was some group called the Justice Block.
Okay.
They had so many members that they could fully sway the vote however they chose to, even if everyone voted against them in a different direction.
Oh, God. That's scary.
So they controlled who got voted in and who did not.
Mm-hmm.
They used this to kind of manipulate their way into getting anything and everything that they wanted to, or else maybe Justice Block votes you as the new overseer. Now, this is such a funny concept because you know how we have smear campaigns?
Yeah.
It was the exact opposite. So you get put up as a candidate, right?
They run.
You want the other guy to
campaigns
win. So you're saying, no, he's a good guy, or he's you know,
Yeah.
you don't want this guy because you don't want to win.
Yeah, and so these guys would be like, this dude's great. We all want to vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's vote for the overseer, boys.
Mm-hmm. So if you say, oh, you know, like, I am a good person, I have all this, you shouldn't vote for me because I'm a good person.
Oh.
You shouldn't vote for me, I have a family. You shouldn't vote for me, I have kids. I have a mother that needs me. I have this stuff. Don't vote for vote for this guy. He's an asshole.
So weird.
So you have kind of the exact opposite of what we have.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, don't vote for me. Vote for this guy.
Don't
he
vote.
sucks.
Please, I don't want to be. I mean, if I was running for president, I'd be like, please don't vote for me. Like,
now, I want you to see, like, kind of what I wrote for the different vaults that I had written down. This is for Vault 11.
There's a lot to go over.
So everything went fairly well for the Justice Block until they decided to blackmail one woman. Her name was Catherine Stone. And they told Miss Stone if she did not perform sexual favors for them and Justice Block, they would vote for her husband.
Oh, these bitches.
So, for about a year, she performed sexual acts, cheating on her husband. Cheating, I say that very, you know, like, because she was forced to do this. And, like, for various members of the Justice Block as she was passed around, back and forth.
Oh, my God.
Come voting, and imagine her surprise when she sees her husband is voted the new overseer.
No!
Mm-hmm.
Liars.
So she is distraught. She
Aw.
is at a mental breaking point. So that night, she is supposed to go to the Justice Block for her nightly duties, let's say. And she shows up with a butcher's knife. And she kills all of the 10 members of the Justice Block. About 20 guys. And she murders them in cold blood.
And these are the top members.
These are the top members. These are the we can do everything, the fat cats of the Justice Block, and she murders them. Now, she thought about this. This is the crazy part. This was cold and calculated.
Oh, yes, queen.
This,
Tell me more.
This was not a fit of like, rage as everybody assumed it to be. No. She has a plan. Because never before has there been a more clear choice for overseer than right now. The woman who just murdered 20 people. She knows she's going to get the overseer vote. And she does. And when she does, she has time to implement a new rule.
Oh?
So,
tell me more.
It's not going to be a vote system anymore to determine who becomes the overseer. Because someone still has to become the overseer.
Yeah.
But there is nothing stating that it has to be a democracy.
Oh, it's so sad because obviously it's tragic what happened to her, but the queen is making money moves now. It's always the most traumatized to get shit done.
So, she, as overseer, implements the rule, it will be a random selection. So Justice Block does not have their claws in anyone anymore. You cannot vie for someone's votes. None of that. It is completely and utterly random. Now, this sets into motion a series of events that will end in the destruction of Vault 11.
Oh my god! Oh my god, tell me more!
So, Justice Block now knows that they're all up for free game. Any of them could be the random person that is assigned to be the overseer. So they don't like this. They decide the entirety of Justice Block runs a raid on the armory.
Oh shit!
Of the vault. They get as many weapons as they can. They hold themselves up in the power generator room. Basically saying that unless we bring back the vote system, they're going to stay in there and they're going to cut off the power and they're going to kill everybody themselves. So they're trying to hold everyone else hostage. Now, the thing that they weren't anticipating was that this would end in a firefight so large that the vast majority of people in Vault 11 would die. As bullets went flying around and the reactor explodes.
Why would you hole up in the power room, dumbasses?
So because of this, there's very few people left in Vault 11 at all. I think only about 5 people are left alive after all of this has happened. And they're all kind of friends. Everybody else kind of just, anybody else who did live through this, we don't really get to hear about them. Mm-hmm. And we get to hear a holotape. And this is at the very beginning of the vault as we find it. And it's these guys deciding what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. So they go to the computer and they tell the computer, go ahead, do it, kill us, we're done. We're not going to have any more innocent blood on our hands. We cannot do this. It's over. Now, upon saying this, the computer initiates a preset response. Congratulations! You've chosen not to murder a fellow, human individual. Your moral standing has been fantastic. Great work in choosing to save life rather than sacrifice it. The vault will continue to produce everything that it has before. This was all just a social experiment.
That's so upsetting. That's like beyond upsetting. Like, it was all just an experiment.
It was all
the whole time
fake. They could have at any point in time said they weren't going to do it, and everything would have run perfectly. Everything would have been fine. They wouldn't have had to sacrifice all of those people.
Nobody would have died.
The remaining individuals there all chose to enter a suicide pact, as they were not capable of living with themselves after finding out that they had been sacrificing people for literally no reason. We hear the guns go off, and then we hear one person who chose not to do it. He couldn't kill himself. And so he says, we didn't know any better. I'm sorry. Please forgive us. And he walks out into the wasteland, and we do not know what happened to him.
Oh my god!
So there is one guy left from Vault 11, one survivor who got out. I want to know his, see what happened to him.
Now, dude. Wow, that's fucked up. There's your trigger warning.
There's your trigger warning. So yes,
wow,
that's Vault 11.
So does it get more tame from here or more?
That depends on your interpretation of more tame.
Shit. Okay, cool. Let's go.
So we have Vault 12, which was located in Bakersfield, California, also known as Necropolis in New California. This was introduced in the very first Fallout video game. It was a medical experiment studying the effects of gradual radiation exposure. The door was designed not to seal correctly.
What the fuck?
So
it purposefully was letting radiation in just to see what the fuck
would happen.
Oh my god, I'm stressed.
Now, as you can imagine, because we know what happens to humans in the Fallout universe when they are exposed to a shit ton of radiation, they turned into ghouls. And they founded the city of Necropolis.
Oh my god.
Which was just a place where ghouls like them could live in harmony with other people. It is not an aggressive town. They're good people.
We love
They're
that.
just ghouls.
That's great.
But because of that means that almost a shit ton of people from Necropolis from the pre-war.
And they know shit. They've seen some shit. Do you think that's where the ghoul from the television show is from?
Ooh, that would be really interesting.
Where was 12?
12, Bakersfield, California.
That's where he wanted to go for his ranch.
Oh!
That's where he wanted his ranch to be.
Oh my god, we're fighting on secrets!
We did it. We've unlocked the clues. Spoiler alert, question mark? Maybe?
The next is Vault 13, Mount Whitney Sequoia National Park. Or the Innu National Forest, citation needed, California, New California in the Fallout universe, was introduced in Fallout 2, the video game. This was a control vault, meant to remain ready and on standby until the residents were needed.
Oh.
However,
as there always is one.
inhabitants chose to remain in isolation until a water chip failure forced them to send the Vault Dweller for a replacement. Schism caused by the Vault Dweller resulted in many inhabitants leaving. Survivors were killed or kidnapped by the Enclave.
Oh, my goodness.
Vault 15, located...
I don't even know what any of those words meant.
Basically, he had to go out and find them a water chip, but their location ended up being compromised. And the Enclave found out where they were, and either killed them or captured them.
So basically, he led the Enclave back to them on accident.
On accident. On a big oopsie moment for the Vault Dweller.
And the water chip is the thing that, like, keeps water pure for the vault.
Produces clean drinking water for the entirety of the vault. Without that
We're
water
not gonna
chip, it does not...
how a chip does that. We're just gonna move on. We're gonna move forward.
So, Vault 15, Southern California, or the New California. Social experiment in which a large population from diverse ethnic and religious backgrounds were forced to live together. The vault's opening was intentionally delayed by several decades. So, they put everybody from every walk of life and culture all in one enclosed space and said, what's gonna happen?
Like, are you gonna get along? Or... what happened with that one?
So, basically, the inhabitants... wait, no, sorry. Here we go. So there was a schism among the inhabitants, which was like an event, which led to the formation of 3 raider gangs from exiled inhabitants, which basically a bunch of people got exiled from there. There was the Cons, the Jackals, and the Vipers. Remaining inhabitants formed Shady Sands. They all learned to get along.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense, because in the show they have those weird rituals. It is because it's in a culmination
of all of the different cultures around the world.
Wow, that's cool. That's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not too shady.
Right?
I mean, like, I feel like the person who came up with the idea for that vault had more nefarious intentions, but I'm glad that it worked out. Okay.
Right, and also if you notice, a lot of these jump by 2. So we have 13 jumping to 15, 17, 19.
Yeah, there's not every single vault on the list.
Exactly.
These are just what has been at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. And that's intentional, so that eventually Bethesda could just be like, oh, and then this vault was also here doing this crazy thing. You know, like...
Was Vault Tech just in America?
I don't know if that's ever explained. Canonically, anyway. There's a lot of people who have theories, but I don't think we ever really see anything outside of the United States. But yes, so that was Vault 15, which ended up making Shady Sands, like all those people. Vault 17 was on the West Coast. The experiment is unknown because the inhabitants were kidnapped and transformed into super mutants by the Unity in Fallout 1.
What? They were kidnapped?
Yep. Remember how I told you that super mutants could be smart?
Yeah.
If they were pure humans?
And so they just... who kidnapped them?
Remember that guy I told you about called the Master? He was the guy who led the super mutant army?
I don't remember.
Trying to take over the world?
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically there was a human who got infected with FEV. It was called the Master, and he had the ability to command super mutants. So anyway, so he was called the Master. He was a human that got infected with FEV. He ends up being able to control super mutants.
Oh, well, that's...
And he wants to use a super mutant army to fully take over the wasteland, right?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And it makes sense to him because super mutants are just better than humans in almost every way. So he has his super mutants going out and kidnapping people. But the problem is he finds out that when he normally like transforms someone into a super mutant, they're dumb. They're not good at being soldiers. But if he can get his hands on pure human species from vaults, they work way better as generals.
So he can control the lesser ones, but he wants more people for his
who are
army who are
smart,
smart.
who can make tactical decisions without him having to be there. So, because of this, he starts actively hunting down vaults, trying to find vault dwellers who are pure human species or samples. So that's what happened to Vault 17 is he found them.
He found his samples.
Vault 19 was located in the Mojave Desert for Nevada. Was introduced in Fallout New Vegas. Social experiment studying effects of functionalism or functionalism? Yeah, functionalism and means to induce paranoia and mistrust. Inhabitants divided into rival blue and red sectors. Inhabitants subject to subliminal messages and faked acts of sabotage. Many developed symptoms of psychosis. Ultimate fate of inhabitants is unknown. Vault was eventually occupied by powder gangers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it was you are either part of the red faction or the blue faction. And then a bunch of stuff happened to make it seem like, oh, red faction sabotaged your fountain.
Whether they
Or
did
blue,
or not.
and they didn't. But it was to make them paranoid and make them think that the other person was doing stuff to them. But in actuality, they hadn't done anything.
That's fucked.
Mm-hmm. So that's Vault 19. Vault 21, Las Vegas, Nevada. The Strip, New Vegas, Mojave Wasteland. Social experiment studying the effects of excessive gambling. All disputes were to be resolved through games of chance. Inhabitants maintained stable community until 2274, when Robert House successfully won ownership of the vault in a game of blackjack and converted it into a hotel.
Oh shit. Okay, so it was working. Like they were playing games. They're like, okay, you won. You get this.
Yep, you get to be overseer.
That's crazy, and they were just enjoying themselves.
Yep.
You would think with that sort of like mentality of like gambling, there'd be a lot of greed there, and people would like vie for more. So it's insane that it like worked.
That it worked, right? Vault 22, Mojave Desert, Nevada. Research facility studying and creating genetically modified crops and flora. Result was the genetically modified fungal infection which transformed inhabitants into spore carriers.
What does that mean?
So, their experimentation on the different plants basically ended up creating a mutated spore which spread through the air ducts.
Okay.
All of the inhabitants of the vault started coughing and having real big problems with their lungs. This would eventually kill them.
Oh, cool.
But that wasn't the end of it.
Love it.
Because their bodies would then get covered in this moss. And they would rise.
Moss zombies.
Moss zombies. Spore carriers is what they were called.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really bad if you kill one.
Because then you get the spores in your lungs. You get the spores,
or it could spread from the body. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here, and then, it died. Okay, well, spreading from there.
Corpse?
Yep, it's really bad because it just kind of spreads and spreads and spreads. But yeah, that was Vault 22.
Do you have a favorite vault? Because I know that you have your notes over here, and I don't want you to miss out on the stuff that you wrote stuff down about.
Oh, no, this was mostly everything that I wrote down.
Okay.
I've already gone over that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, the biggest one was Vault 11.
Nice.
We're already on Vault 29. Yeah. So Vault 29 was in the West Coast, a social experiment said to be full of rich, obnoxious teenagers.
That's it.
That's it. That's all we know. That was a Fallout 76, so yeah. Vault 31, Los Angeles, California. Social experiment consisting of 3 interconnected but divided vaults. Ostensibly as extra security for threats, but also for support during crisis. Secretly a pet project of Bud Askins, a Vault Tech sales executive who sought to use the vault to create a population of loyal Vault Tech employees to monopolize the wasteland. Vaults 32 and 33 house normal populations, while 31 house cryogenically preserved Vault Tech executives directed to go out to the other vaults and indoctrinate them towards Askin's directive. With the truth hidden from the other two vaults.
So this is the one from the television show.
Yes. Yep, this is from the Fallout TV series. 33 remained. Okay, 33. 34. That was also... oh, wait, no. 34. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so this was the Mojave Desert, Nevada. A social experiment in which inhabitants were provided access to an overstocked armory with no security measures. Inhabitants manually installed locks on armory and restricted access to vault security. Schism over these measures led a group to leave and form the Boomers tribe. Reactor leak caused by a civil uprising led to the death and ghoulification of most of the inhabitants.
Okay.
This was in New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
The Boomers are a faction that you find. They end up taking over the Nellis Air Force Base with the highly fortified mortars that are over there, and they love shelling people.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, they're actually kind of cool. They're not evil. They just use them to keep people out.
Uh-huh.
And they like their booms. Vault 51 was in northwestern Virginia, the forests of Appalachia. A social experiment in which Zach's AI was tasked with selecting an ideal overseer from the vault population. So it was trying to use AI to figure out if it could. Zach's began manufacturing crisis to test the ability of inhabitants. The crisis eventually escalated to lethal threats, then direct manipulation, encouraging the remaining inhabitants to kill one another.
Oh, cool. So the AI just murdered everybody.
Murdered everyone.
Biggest fear.
Vault 63, located in the Ash Heap, West Virginia. Built as the personal project of Vault Tech board member Hugo Stolz, not intended as a social experiment, but rather a facility to develop technologies that could be used to establish a post-war society, including weather manipulation and large-scale robotics, connected to above-ground facilities along with underground rail systems.
Okay.
The vault was unfinished, however, causing dwellers to mutate into ghouls, with some being feral. Research intended to cure feralization ended up damaging the vault, creating a massive storm over Shenandoah, and mutating many of the ghouls' dwellers into the lost. The vault is still active among ghoulified survivors.
You know, I understand the concepts of weather manipulation, and I certainly think that it's not, like, a bad thing, but it feels so unnatural to me. Like, weather is supposed to happen for a reason, and I feel like if we just took care of the planet, maybe it wouldn't be as bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, hurricanes are awful, and tornadoes running through towns is bad, you know? But also, having a device that very specifically manipulates the weather just feels so creepy to me for some reason. As in, like, that's not what's supposed to happen.
I think about it as a very, like, it's definitely man trying to control, you know, and they always say it's like man playing God, right? But imagine all of the famines that happened because rain wasn't happening one year.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
and, like forest fires, even.
Yeah, the forest fires. If you could just be like, storm, and then it would just, all right, well, there you go. No more forest fires. That would be incredible. But you run into the problem of, like, you are literally playing God here, guys.
It's like, when does that turn into, I want it to be sunshine, rainbows every day. I want to have blue skies today, but it's raining. Let me just turn on my little weather device. It feels like it would escalate too much for me, and just feels unnatural.
Vault 75. Malden Middle School in Massachusetts. So the Commonwealth. Now in the Fallout universe. Social and medical experiment in which a eugenics program was used to breed young inhabitants into perfect soldiers.
That is not good.
No!
That's bad.
Yes. Now, remember how I told you about the Gunners?
Yeah.
And how they're very militaristic?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess where they came from? Yeah.
This is what happens when you use eugenics.
This is what happens when you use eugenics.
Middle schoolers become murderers.
But this was introduced in Fallout 4. Yeah, because test subjects eventually revolted against the researchers, and the vault was eventually occupied by gunners. And they say that a lot of them became the gunners. But anyway, Vault 76, north of Flatwoods, West Virginia, the Forest of Appalachia. So Fallout 76 is what it was. Meant to house the best and brightest in order to help rebuild and secure local nuclear silos. Social experiment in which a single man was locked in the vault. Oh, sorry. That was another next one. Next one. That's my favorite one. You asked me if I had a favorite. That's my favorite. But yes, so secure nuclear silos. Basically, it was built by Vault Tech to make sure that when humanity came back out, Vault Tech would have control of the nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Vault 77. Location? Unknown. No one knows where this vault is. Social experiment in which a single man was locked in the vault with only puppets.
That's so fucked up. It's so funny, but it's so fucked up.
Now, for the longest time, this was considered not canon. And I do want to talk about this a little bit. Because this came out in a kind of pre-launch advertisement that Bethesda did, which was a comic called One Man and a Crate of Puppets. Now, in this experiment, what they wanted to do was they wanted to say one guy went into this vault, and then they locked the doors. Now, there was food, there was water, there was entertainment, there was everything that he needed. But it got really lonely. And for a long time, he was wondering if they, maybe they're going to let the other people in later, etc., etc. Never happened. And we've gone over this a lot, and we actually went over it in the other Fallout thing. This is my favorite vault. And that's the story I want to know. I want to know what happened to the puppet guy.
Isn't there some lore about what happened to him?
A little bit. So he did leave the vault.
Oh.
And it shows a couple panels of him having adventures in the wasteland. Like, he's riding a rad scorpion in one of them. Like, he has a full saddle. He's just like, man, this place is crazy. As he's like eating a skewer of meat and just kind of has his other hand on the reins and just like looking around. And then it zooms out and we see that it's a rad scorpion he's riding.
Jesus.
And he gets captured by a group of raiders. And they're gonna kill him. And they've got his little puppet friend. And he's just kind of chilling on a box. But the thing is, he is fully restrained. And these raiders are gonna murder him. Yeah. And he's like, okay, guys, you need to let me go. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure, not gonna happen. We're probably gonna eat you, but, whatever. And they're huge, by the way. These raiders are built different. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I don't really care what you do to me, but my friend gets really upset if anything happens to me, so you need to let me go now. You can keep all my stuff. Just let me go. And they're like, your puppet? Your puppet gets mad? And then it pans away and we see nothing but blood spray. And then we see him standing untethered now with his puppet in his hand and he's just covered in blood with the most horrified look on his face. Like he was fully not in control of his own actions or this puppet actually did something. We don't know. That is the last official thing that we saw of the man in a crate of puppets.
I want to know more about the puppet.
Now, for the longest time, no one thought this was canon.
Yeah.
Because it was a random, and Bethesda is known for kind of making things up as they go, and sometimes it's canon, sometimes it's not. And a lot of times it's just, oh, that was just for fun. And if it's something kind of exaggerated like this, most of the time it's not. However, in Fallout 3, you can come across a slaver town. That's all they do, is they capture people and they enslave them. I want to say it's like Oasis, something like that. Paradise Falls. It's called Paradise Falls. And there's a bunch of slavers there. And they all tell horror stories of this vault dweller who came through, with a vault suit. And if you kind of listen in, you can hear their conversations. And they're terrified of this guy.
Okay.
Like, and keep in mind, this is a bunch of cannibalistic, slave trading raiders.
Yeah.
And they're scared
Oh, what?
of the man with the puppet.
Oh my god. Do you think he's going to be in the Fallout TV show?
I want it to be, but here's the thing. They said that they traded with him
Yeah.
at the end. And they got his vault suit. And you can find it in the game. It's Vault 77.
That's good shit.
That's it. That's all we know. That's the only, like, that's the closest thing we get to a verification that he is real. It's canon in the games.
You know what I want to do now? I want to rewatch the Fallout TV series and look at every single NPC that I can, every single background character, and see if I can see a man with a puppet.
It'd be fun.
If they threw that Easter egg in there,
It'd be really
that would
fun.
be genius. I'm gonna be rewatching Fallout over and over again. I'm gonna be watching it on 0.1 times speed. Slow that bitch down. Look for that puppet man.
Now we have Vault 79
Okay.
from Vault 77, which is located in north of Dolly Sod's Wilderness, West Virginia. Secret Service facility intended to house the United States gold reserves.
Oh shit, she's just full of money?
Yeah, it's full of actual gold bars. This is the new Fort Knox.
I wanna go to that vault.
Eventually, the reactor leak killed or ghoulified most agents assigned to the vault. Survivors were rescued by the residents of Vault 76 during the attempts to heist of the gold reserves.
Wow. I mean, what good is gold in an apocalypse?
I mean, it's used for electronics.
Yeah, but like...
Yeah. That's a question of, like, you don't need that much. You don't need that much for it.
They literally... their currency is bottle caps. I think that if they came across some gold, nobody would give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a weird, oh, I'm a pre-war collector, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just some eccentric person who back in the day would have been a billionaire, but now is just crazy.
So, and here's the other thing. Gold is valuable in today's society.
Yeah.
And the reason the US dollar is like much as it's worth now is because we back it up with gold from Fort Knox. So the currency itself has a set value because we guarantee the worth of that with gold.
Then how are we in so much debt because we don't have enough gold?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's the idea, right? So anybody who has all of this gold could theoretically create their own unique currency and back it up with gold from New Fort Knox.
Imagine coming across the gold reserves and being like, we're gonna be a medieval civilization again, kids.
Yeah, as you're like gold coins. Oh, it's D&D, baby. It's
D&D, baby.
Oh, that's so funny. Vault 81 was in Boston, Massachusetts for Fallout 4, so the Commonwealth. Research facility. Scientists in secret sector of the vault would work to develop a universal disease cure via experimenting on unwitting civilian population.
Can you say that again? I'm so sorry.
So basically what happened is there was a vault and a secret chamber made in that vault to experiment on animals, like like lab rats kind of thing. And the people in the vault.
Oh, cool.
To make a universal cure for every disease known to man.
Jesus, that was the goal?
That's the goal.
Ooh.
Now, what eventually happened here, and this vault is still active to this day, by the way, the overseer didn't like this.
Uh-huh.
And so the overseer decided to lock down that facility, the secret area in the vault, so no one could get out, and killed the scientists.
Oh!
They were not allowed to experiment on the human individuals in that vault, and eventually they died.
Well, I mean, like...
Yeah.
it's that feels right, but it's still like you just killed a lot of people to get to the, you know.
Yeah, so basically what ends up happening here is over time, the creatures that were in there started to go a little nuts. And we end up with a bunch of diseased lab rats, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds about right.
which they're kind of mole rats.
Ah, the mole rat. That's where mole rats come from.
Not where all of them come from by
But
any
some
means,
of
but
them.
some. But so these ones end up burrowing into the vault,
It sounds suspiciously like Vault 4.
and a kid gets hurt.
Oh
He gets bit.
no. And then he gets diseased?
He is diseased, and that's where we find him in Fallout 4. We go into this vault, and it's a beautiful vault.
Uh-huh.
They're trading with the outside world. They have their own community inside. It's awesome. They have schools. It's great.
Yeah.
But this kid, he's sick, and he's not getting better, and the doctor doesn't know how to help. And they said he got hurt playing in the reactor room. And so if you go into the reactor room, you can find this secret little area, and there are mole rats in there that carry this disease.
Boy.
Now, if any of these mole rats bite you, hit you one time, you're diseased.
Oh no.
There's no getting rid of it.
Oh no.
And it is a permanent decrease to your stats.
Because it's just like they're diseased with every disease at the same time.
Bunch of really bad shit. Bunch of really bad. They created a new disease, essentially. So you get to the end and you find a robot. It is basically a medical robot
Okay.
called Curie.
Okay.
It's got a French AI.
Oh.
She is very adorable.
Oh.
And she is super happy to see you because she has not seen actual humans in a very long time.
Oh, okay.
The last humans that she did get to see were the doctors that were here.
Oh.
And she buried them.
That's sad.
When they eventually passed away.
But it's like obviously the experiments are wrong,
and
they shouldn't be doing that,
No.
especially on humans, but on anything.
But
then those were also people who died, who were murdered, but it was for a good reason.
Yeah, it's a rough thing. Because eventually
Did they try telling them no? We're not gonna do this anymore. Oh.
No, she just locked it. And basically
I get it.
They tried communicating with her. They tried asking her to open it up. They tried asking, I think they even said that, they would stop. They wouldn't do it. But she was like, I can't trust that that's actually something you're going to do. So,
fair. It's fair.
We find out that Curie kept up the work.
Okay.
And eventually led to a breakthrough.
Oh, shit.
And she has a sample.
Oh, shit.
1 vial of a curative that will cure any disease known to man. Yep. So now you have to make a choice. Do you save the kid? Or do you take it to remove that disease from you?
Do you automatically get bit no matter what?
If you're good, you can avoid it. But no one's thinking that. You don't know that going in. You don't know what's happening.
Mole rat is gonna bite me. That's gonna be no damage.
Yeah, the best way to do it, obviously, is to go in, not get hit, make sure you're using VATS, do all that fun stuff. Because it also doesn't affect companions, so you can, send in one of your guys to be his fodder, and then give it to the kid, But it's supposed to be a moral decision. It's supposed to be, are you willing to, limit your character to save this child's life?
How about we make more of this? You did it once, Curie.
She's out of materials.
She's out of materials?
She's been locked in there
what
for a
materials
long time.
What do you need, though?
That's the question.
That's the question. Is like, she has to have this written down. Can't we make more?
A lot of it was pre-war. You have to remember that,
boy.
they had access to a lot more resources than they do now.
Boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. But you get Curie as a companion afterwards.
That's cool. That is fun.
And eventually you can even end up putting her consciousness into a synth AI.
Ooh.
So she can finally feel what it actually feels like to be human. And understand all that poetry that the doctor used to read to her.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's just like, that's a lose-lose situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Double-edged sword for sure, where it's like, you have the one hand where she's trying to protect the people who actively live there who just want to live a normal life and not have to be test subjects. On the other hand, you have scientists who are theoretically willing to stop, but they've done atrocities,
Mm-hmm.
and the ultimately what they're working for is something that would be good for everybody, but you're also in an apocalyptic situation. Like,
Yeah.
how many people are surviving anyways?
Yeah.
Like, does
Like,
this cure ghoulism?
yeah. Maybe it would have if you hadn't given it to this kid to save his life.
That's
So
rough.
yeah,
That's rough.
that happens. But that is Vault 81, Boston, Massachusetts. Vault 87 is the next one. Northeastern Virginia, Capital Wasteland. Research facility studying the effects of the forced evolutionary virus on humans. Civilian population was used as test subjects.
Because of course they were. So what does that mean?
So the forced evolutionary virus is the thing that turns people into super mutants.
That's right. That's the super mutants. Okay, that's right. So this is the super mutant vault where everybody started becoming.
Inhabitants were transformed into super mutants and seized control of the vault.
I mean, yeah, at that point. Oh no, your experiment went wrong and now I'm super strong and I can kill you easily. Don't know what I'll do.
Vault 88 in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Testing facility for experimental productivity boosting equipment to be used in other vaults. This is Vault Tech. So when we say productivity improving devices, yeah. It's fucked. It's real fucked.
Give me examples. Tell me more. I don't understand those words. They
So-
sound like a different language to me.
Here's what it was meant to do. It was meant to get the most you could out of a worker. So let's say you had somebody who was like janitor, right? Wouldn't it be super cool if your janitor could stay up for like 22 hours straight? That's efficient. That's pretty efficient, right?
It's pretty efficient.
Yeah. So check out this new caffeine drug that I just invented.
Oh, so many drugs probably come from here. Oh, and it's so crazy because Vault-Tec is also the people who are just making robots that do human things but better. But then they're like, that's not enough. We're not just going to replace you with robots. If there's anybody's left, we're going to make sure you alter your physical being to a point where you're entirely meant for work.
There is, too much leisure time is bad for the average vault dweller because that could make them get fat and complacent. So,
Or if I want to get fat and complacent in the
Check-
apocalypse.
check out this new exercise bike that we invented with a couple different experimental features. One being tiny microscopic needles embedded in the handle that you cannot feel. So the handles, like right here where you put your hands, that inject basically a serum to make you crave doing this more and more and more. So it puts like an addictive substance into your body that makes your body think that it is wanting to get back on the exercise cycle. And when you're away, you start to suffer withdrawals, which makes you want to complete your task faster so you can back up to that exercise bike. Also, let's use it to like power up some stuff, right? So like if we have all these workers on these exercise bikes anyway, might as well have it producing power.
Do you know what you just did to me?
Hmm.
You just made me never want to get on our exercise bike ever again. Thanks for that, babe.
Yeah, that is a taste of the experiments that they were planning on doing. Now, luckily, this vault never actually got to see the light of day because the overseer got trapped in a cavern. There was a cave in, and it never got to be finished.
Thank God.
It is an expansion
Wow.
for Fallout 4 called the Vault Tech Workshop, where you can take over as the new overseer of this vault.
No.
And run social experiments on people.
No, wait, which Fallout is this part of?
4.
Oh my god, can we play?
I want to know the things I could do to them. Oh my goodness. But yes, so that was Fallout 4. That was Vault 81. So Vault 92 was in Maryland, in the Capital Wasteland, first introduced in Fallout 3. Medical experimental testing trying to induce aggression using white noise. Oh, yes!
Tell me about it.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Preach it to me, babe.
So this one was basically supposed to be a vault for musicians.
Oh, this one's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be real rough. If you were a good enough musician, you got into the vault. You got a guaranteed spot. You didn't have to pay. You had nothing.
Okay.
You got in. And that's all they did all day was record music. Was basically, there was like a whole orchestras down here of people. We're talking classical music, violins, cellos, all of it. These are Beethoven motherfuckers. That's all they are. And they lived a super peaceful, calm life down there. Except a couple of them reported that they were hearing this weird, like, whine, like a twinge every now and then, like a weird little bear noise that you can't really hear, but it's there. And it was irritating them. And it was starting to, like, really, really irritate them. And it started out okay. And then as time went on, that irritation moved to anger. Making them really not great people to be around. And then that anger turned to rage. Until eventually, they started literally tearing other people apart. With their bare hands.
Yeah. And it was just white noise, like it wasn't something specific. It was just white noise, and it was just bothering people.
The inhabitants were driven insane and eventually killed one another. Vault later became infested with bloat flies and mirelurks. But yes, it was literally just a noise that was being sent through the speakers that was not hearable. But it was enough to kind of grate on the nerves of those people to the point that eventually it drove them insane. Murderously insane.
Wow.
It's like an itch that you can never scratch.
That's messed up. Who are some of the best musicians of our time?
Oh.
R.I.P. to them, right?
Yeah, that would suck ass.
Like, who,
but it was classical, though.
What's the name of... Well, I'm talking about movie soundtracks. Like, what's the name... I know his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. The name of the guy who did the Tarzan soundtrack.
Oh, shit.
Right? What's his name?
Oh, no, not him.
Right? Anybody with George Lucas was the director of all of the famous
Star Wars
movies,
and
but
stuff.
like Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all soundtracks of the century.
Yeah, that would have been really sad. I do not remember his name.
I'll look it up.
But yes, you actually find a survivor. She managed to get out. And her name's Old Lady Gibson.
Old Lady Gibson?
And if you manage to get her violin from the vault, there's a special radio station that starts opening up for your character in Fallout 3, where she will play you classical music on her violin.
Is that what the radio station in the TV show is inspired from? Or is it because it was just violin music?
I could see it.
And
it could be Lady Gibson's.
It could be Lady Gibson's. That's so fucking sad.
And a Gibson is the name of a guitar.
Oh, that's so sad.
I believe it's a guitar brand. Gibson's. But yeah,
that
Old Lady Gibson.
That one breaks my heart.
And every time she does, it's something like, this is to warm all those lonely nights out in the wasteland.
That's so sad. I was in band, man. I played the flute.
I played the flute.
And like there's just something about making music that's so magical, especially when you're doing it with that big of a group of people, and the fact that they were all literally driven insane because of an experiment is just that one hits me in the heart.
Um, Vault 94 was located in the Mire of Appalachia. Social experiment testing the viability of pacifist belief systems in the post apocalyptic conditions. All inhabitants were members of a non-violent religious community, save a single Vault Tech employee.
Oh shit, what did the employee do while he was in there? Do you know?
He was an observer. Vault Tech observer confessed to the experiment and urged inhabitants to arm themselves for safety purposes. This advice was ignored, and the vault was eventually massacred by paranoid outsiders. Damage to the vault's gex sustained in the massacre created the mire, which is a giant swamp.
Is that where Mirelurks come from?
I mean, they are in there for sure. I don't
Well,
know if that's
yeah,
where they
for
all come
sure.
from.
So basically, could you explain that a little further? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding just, I think, what they wrote.
Yeah, no. So it was a pacifist community
Oh.
that they wanted to see what would happen if they were put into a situation where, other than
Yeah,
that, you die.
I think it was paranoid outsiders, and as in, like, did people come to the vault and they tried to be like,
Yep,
"Kumbaya, come join
exactly.
us," and then the outsiders were like, "Nah,
You're
fuck
creepy
this."
little shit fuckers. Yeah.
Once again, that's what they did in the show. The with the Shady
Yep.
Sands people in Vault 4, they were
Yep.
just chilling
They're just chilling,
with
and
the
then
shady outsiders.
yeah, we're like, wait, because I think it's literally like, imagine being up on the surface and then you see all this crazy stuff down there, and they're like, we're just here to help, dude.
Oh.
And you're like, sure you are. What's the bullshit? Like, what's the flim flam? What's the rub? What's the
You know, I will
scam
say
here?
it's really interesting going through each and every vault, having just watched the TV show, because there's so many of the premises of these vaults and kind of like the results of these vaults
Mm-hmm.
that you see in the show.
Mm-hmm.
The people from Shady Stand being in Vault 4, and Lucy and
Maximus.
Maxim almost fucking destroying them because they were being paranoid. The violin player or the violin that's playing on the radio station by that one guy,
Might
all
have
are
been.
from vaults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that one, and that was from Fallout 76. So I didn't even know a whole lot about that. I'd been to the mire. That's
Yeah.
also where you find rad sloths.
Oh, tell me more.
They're like 16 feet tall,
I
and they have
want
mushrooms kind of growing off
I
of them.
want one as a pet.
They'll kill you.
I don't care. So will a
I
grizzly
don't
bear. I want one as
care.
a pet
I
too.
want one. The next one's Vault 95 in southeast of Natuck, Massachusetts, the Commonwealth. Social and medical experiment in which addicts were given experimental rehabilitation treatments and encouraged to remain clean, then informed of a secret stash of chems.
That's just fucking rude. Because I feel like with that one, it's like the weakest chain breaks the link. One person goes for it, and then somebody else is like, it's the apocalypse. Why the fuck am I doing this? You
Yeah,
know?
so it was basically somebody that they had in there set an explosive to blow up a secret wall which was full of alcohol and drugs, and all of these people had gotten clean.
Mm-hmm.
They were all on the program,
Mm-hmm.
and it was where they were having meetings. It was like going to AA.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by like that one feels like it's the weakest chain on the link who breaks them all. Like
Yep.
if all of them had would decide together that they were going to like stay clean regardless of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it would have been fine. But it takes one person being like, it's the apocalypse. There's a huge stash of stuff that I remember being really fun. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
fuck it. You know, it's like what we're living in a vault underground. You know, I feel like that's already a hard situation to be in to stay clean, let alone get clean, and then
Right.
just given access to it again. Like that's messed up.
It was, I will say, after reading the logs, it brought me to tears. It was so sad. Like the
Mhm.
story of these people who would literally beat an addiction, who were talking about like how much better their life was now, and
Mhm.
how they could finally like look themselves in the mirror and be proud of the person who they became. And then you just, you're like, you
bastards.
Because again, it takes one person being like, I'm gonna do this, and then the next person's like, well, if he's doing it, maybe it's like, I've been clean for so long,
Uh-huh. The next one is Vault 96, which was located in Appalachia. First introduced in Fallout 76, the video game. A research facility intended to monitor and study mutated wildlife, using genetic engineering to develop anti-mutagen countermeasures. It was staffed by only 5 individuals. Now here's the rub. Automated security measures threatened to execute inhabitants if they failed to meet quotas due to security and ethical nature of the research. Inhabitants eventually attempted to sabotage security systems and escape, but failed and were killed. Test subjects eventually began to escape the facility, and that's kind of how you end up with like the problems around that building in the game. But they were supposed to literally just be researchers. It was 5 people, but they realized that eventually this wasn't going to be sustainable. And so they were like, okay, we got to get out of here. Even getting to the wasteland would be better than this. And it just didn't work. And you go in there, there are mines, there are tripwires, there are automated turrets. Just a bunch of shit that you have to fight your way through.
Jesus.
It's awful. But that was Fallout 76. Another one in the Capital Wasteland in Springville, Virginia. So this is Fallout 3. Social experiment. This is 101. Social experiment in which overseers were granted unlimited authority over a vault intended to remain closed indefinitely. So you're not the mayor. You are the end-all, be-all. I say jump, you literally say how high.
A dictatorship.
Overseer Alphonse Almodovar eventually began to send secret scouting parties into surrounding wastelands and recruiting an outsider. Is what it says happens. Yeah. Oh, recruiting an outsider, James, as doctor. The vault eventually fell into civil war after James and the Lone Wanderer escaped. So this is the vault you start out in Fallout 3. Okay. Fallout 3. It's good to know. So in Vault 106 was in the Capital Wasteland, introduced in Fallout 3, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
This was a medical experiment.
Oh, boy.
They were testing out a new gas called hallucinogen gas.
Oh, boy.
And it did exactly that. Caused hallucinations, paranoia, schizophrenia, all kinds of bad shit. The drugs remain in the air 200 years later after the inhabitants ended up ripping each other to pieces.
Oh my god.
Going into this vault fucks you.
Oh no.
Yep.
That's not good.
Vault 108, which was in the Capital Wasteland, Fallout 3, the video game when those were introduced, was a social experiment studying effects of leadership conflicts. Most management positions were to be filled by a terminally ill overseer upon entry. Power systems were designed to fail after 20 years. No entertainment was provided.
Oh, God.
And the armory was provided triple the standard ordnance.
Oh, my God. So they basically just made it a kill box.
Yep.
You said, yeah, like a teenage boy going through puberty.
Now, here's the best part. It's not... when you get there, there's still a bunch of inhabitants.
Yeah?
Scary.
Who's scary?
In addition to the state purpose, the vault was also provided with a cloning device. A single inhabitant, Gary, was cloned repeatedly. Clones eventually turned violent and overran the vault. To the point that they were so gone mentally, they could only say his name in varying inflections.
Gary.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And so when you find him, it's like, Gary.
That's... Nope. I hate that. I didn't think the word Gary could be scary. But I think it is now.
But you hate it. You hate it so much.
Oh, this chills down my spine.
Yeah. That's There's a cloning machine. Vault 111 was you know this vault. This was the one where you are cryogenically frozen in Fallout 4.
4. Okay. And
111.
remind me of the story behind 111, because obviously there's got to be a good story to it because it's the main vault of Fallout 4. But like, what was the whole thing behind there? They were cryogenically frozen, but some of them were unfrozen early. Some of them were straight out murdered.
Yeah, so it's testing cryotechnology was the purpose of the vault.
Okay.
They were seeing if you could leave individuals in cryostasis for extended periods of time. Eventually, you find out that yes, you can. But the problem was there was basically like a malfunction with the power system, and eventually the bodies started to thaw.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and some of them, because they weren't kept up and the pods weren't properly maintained, you're the only one who survives.
Damn, you just get lucky.
Yep, everybody else is kind of freezer burnt popsicle status.
So why did they take, because in the beginning of the Fallout 4 game, this is like the intro of it, so it's a little bit of spoilers, but not really. I remember specifically at one point, they open up one of the cryo things and they take your baby.
Yep.
And don't they like shoot your wife?
Yep.
So
or your husband.
Or your husband, depending on which gender you play as. Do they just shoot her because it's like, oh, she's thawing out and she's not supposed to be? And she's
they shoot her because she's not letting him take the kid.
Oh, that's right, because she was carrying... I couldn't remember if they took
she
him
has
from you
your
or
baby in her arms, and she's still coming out of cryo, and they're trying to say, it's okay, just give us the kid. And she's like, no, you're not taking my child. Like, this is my kid. You're not taking him. And so the guy that they bring along, his name's Kellogg. He's a mercenary. Mercenary. He gets tired of them arguing and he shoots her in the head. They take the kid and you go back in cryo. But not before Kellogg basically goes up to your pod and kind of waves.
That's so creepy. Why do they want your baby?
They want your baby because the Institute, which is basically MIT, or what's left of them, created an underground society where science rules. Morality is not a thing.
Science rules, sports rules.
And they wanted somebody from the outside to kind of run it from a different time. Somebody who remembers what it was like.
Okay.
Or somebody who was still like a full human, Yeah. Like kind of like the Brotherhood has that weird thing of like, yeah, you look human, but you're technically a mutie.
So basically, there are a bunch of people who have been living on the surface who created this underground thing and were like, we're dedicated to science. But then they're like, but none of us are pure, so we're going to take this cryogenically frozen baby, raise him so he's our pawn, and then make him our ruler?
Pretty much. Almost exactly that. That was really spot on, yeah.
That feels convoluted as hell.
It is. Welcome to Fallout. Basically, they had to come up with a reason for why,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And that's the only thing they could really apparently come up with. You think they could have done it a simpler way?
It feels like a really weird reason, because it's like, why do you think, like, you are geniuses who created a society for yourself, and you're just giving away its rulership because they weren't radiated? Oh no? That's not good. I don't want to hear oh no when you're reading the next vault we're gonna go to.
This might have to be the last one.
Oh, let's end on a sad note.
Okay, so this is located in Smith Casey's garage in West Virginia. The Capital Wasteland was first seen in Fallout 3. This is Vault 112. A social experiment in which inhabitants were placed in a virtual reality simulation controlled by the Overseer.
Oh, this is a virtual reality one.
So they were fed intravenously while they kind of remain in a seat like this. And then there was a virtual reality simulator which sucked their consciousness into virtual reality.
Okay.
And you were in a place called Tranquility Lane.
Okay.
This sounds like it should be good, right? Because it's pre-war. Like, you're running around, you have your hedges, you have your houses, you have, like, you get home-cooked meals every day.
Yeah, you don't even know that it's an apocalypse, theoretically.
Theoretically. That was the idea. Until the Overseer, a man named Stanzus Braun, decided that he didn't like it. Because as the overseer, it was his job just make sure everybody was comfortable. You know? Like, maintain the simulation. He was given admin access because he's the overseer.
There's
Uh,
a glitch.
yeah, he can fix it. You know? He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. So, given full control over these people, he decided he was going to make his own little amusement park.
No, 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 no.
And he can appear as whatever he wants.
Oh no.
So when you show up to Tranquility Lane, you enter the simulation. Because it's kind of like you see all these people in the pods, and you're like, what's going on here? So you just kind of sit down in the chair, you're like, what's... And it pulls you into the simulation.
Oh.
And there's this little girl there.
No.
And she's in a dress. And you're walking around, everything's kind of black and white, right? Like, it's that whole... This is the 1940s, and this is a whole, like, community little suburb. And there's people walking around, and there's this little girl at the playset. And she wants you to do terrible things. Terrible, terrible things. If you go through with this quest, which you have to do to get out, except you don't, but we'll get into that in a second. You lose so much karma that it can bring you to pure evil. Because there's a lot of personalities in here that you are fucking around with. And it starts off pretty simple, right? It's pretty tame. It's just like, hey, go push that kid off the swing. Right?
Yeah.
So you do, and then it kind of evolves from there to eventually murdering everybody on Tranquility Lane with a knife as you put on a little slasher's mask.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Because basically he's like, I want to have my fun with you before I let you out. So you're going to do all this stuff for me. And if you don't, I'll kill you. And he can. At any time. You find out that all of these people have been being kept hostage here. Under his, like, law, I guess?
Uh-huh.
Because if any of them disobey him, he can just kill them. Their real body. Permanently. Destroys their consciousness. So they have been forced to be puppets in his own little play for a long time. And he can kill them and he can bring them back.
Oh, no. That's so bad. He can do... Oh, that's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, tell me a funny one.
Okay, here's a fun one that you might actually want to do in real life.
Okay.
Not you, but you might want to see done in real life.
Okay, let's see it.
So Vault 114 was located in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Fallout 4 was the first video game it was seen in. It was a social experiment in which wealthy inhabitants would be stripped of luxury and forced to live in cramped squalor under an unaccompanied or incompetent overseer. So when this was sold, they brought millionaires here. And they were like, look at these luxury accommodations. Look, you'll have the best of everything. We're talking caviar and champagne every night, baby. And they're like, sign me up. That sounds wonderful. Do it. You know, like, let's do this. It's going to be great. Only to get there to find none of what they were promised.
Oh my God.
We're talking bunk rooms with like 4 people to a room.
This sounds like cosmic justice to me.
No privacy. Their meals were bland, nutritious, but bland. The same stuff over and over and over again. The showers were so like, and the time and the amount of resource that they had, people were having to shower multiple times together. Just to keep like the amount of water that they needed. Even the dining experience was really shitty, as some people had to stand to eat or sit on the floor because there was not enough space in the cafeteria. Yeah.
Damn.
Things that they were promised, luxury amenities like, you know, specific shampoos or conditioners, body washes, makeup, wardrobes were
Like,
super bland, everything.
you know that the people who paid to be in this vault are the people who truly don't care about anything else, because the amount of things they could have done with their money that would maybe have been helpful to somebody else, but instead they're buying vault passes for luxury vaults in an apocalypse. Oh, that one's tasty. That one's spicy tasty.
Now, unfortunately, this vault was never completed. Possibly due to contract fraud and or embezzlement, construction site was eventually taken over by Skinny Malone's Triggerman outfit.
Wait, so the billionaires never had to... Oh, we were so close to a good thing! We were so close!
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And since we're here anyway, we might as well do this last one.
Oh, thank God. Please tell me it's better than that one. I think that one might have been the most tragic of the night.
Vault 118, the Cliffs Edge Motel, Mount Desert Island in Maine.
Okay.
Social experiment in which 10 wealthy residents would live in luxury while 300 impoverished residents lived in squalor, with wealthy residents granted total authority.
I'm upset. I thought you were going to give me a good one. What happened? Please tell me there's a happy ending to this one.
So it says lower class section of the vault was never completed. Due embezzlement, blah blah blah. Oh no! It does actually say, okay, lower class section of the vault was never completed due to embezzlement of construction funds. Inhabitants of the luxury section eventually transferred themselves into robo-brains to achieve immortality and continue to occupy the vault to this day.
I'm so upset. Those are the last three that you give me. Oh, the Fallout universe is crushing in so many ways. Oh, we had one chance for justice on this whole list. That's the end of the podcast. I'm done.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. That's where we're going to end it here. But if you enjoy what we do and you'd like to support us, please do go head over on to our Patreon, where you have all kinds of votes and polls, fun things to interact with, as well as a community Discord where you can talk to other fun spoonies about things or trauma you might have experienced
listening to the last 10 minutes of this goddamn podcast. Okay.
All right. So yes, let's talk about
just a quick fun fact about Mirelurks.
Quick fun little bit about
Mirelurks. Remind
Mirelurks.
you, I was even thinking about it and I forgot.
So what I had about the Mirelurks and what we never really got to talk about in the last episode was that Mirelurks are in like the only aquatic creature that we really get to contact for Fallout, which is super sad. But they're mostly helmet crabs or blue crabs.
Oh.
There's also lobsters.
Love it.
And they do not tell us what a Mirelurk king is supposed to be the evolutionary trait of, because they look like the thing from the freaking creature from the Black Lagoon. But the Mirelurk queen, which is the big hulking weird shellfish thing, is all of them. She has aspects of a crab, or of the horned crab and the helmet crab. She has the aspects of the hunters, which is the
okay, that sounds
lobsters.
like experimental shit. And you said that there was a research scientist one that turned into the mire, right?
There's something that turned into the mire, yeah.
And it was a lab that was doing experiments on things.
That was the peaceful one.
But the peaceful one.
They weren't doing experiments.
Oh, they weren't doing.
It was just a pacifist community.
The pacifist community turned into the mire?
Yep, because their get got damaged. Garden of Eden creation kit. The thing that terraforms places.
I'm headcanoning that the Mirelurks were invented. There's a secret hidden room. Anyways.
Well,
this is how you stay at the end of the episode now. So, sorry we didn't say air fun fact at the beginning. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.